there, Serverum 17 once again. This is my Mirror's Edge Catalyst video walkthrough. This is the 11th mission. It is called Encroachment. In the previous video we were talking a little bit about combat, so I want to go back into that tangent and I want to go back into the idea of this game having a block. So the first counter-argument to this kind of idea is that Faith is a runner. She's like some skinny chick, and she's not, you know, an MMA fighter. She's not built to block. She's not built to take glancing blows. She's about speed. That's how she's designed. That's the concept of the game. This idea of speed. Even though there are many moments that contradict it in some very creative ways, and by creative I mean not creative at all. It's pretty fucking terrible, but, you know, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's their game. This sequence is a good example of this. You can circumvent almost all of the threats in this entire sequence by using the speed and platforming, which is exactly what I'm going to do, because I don't like a room full of dudes shooting at me, and the concept of having to fight them on an engine where the combat is really lacking. Subpar is just not a good premise for me, so I'm just going to get on with it and do the objectives. And the good thing is, when you hit all 3 objectives, it despawns all the enemies anyway, so you don't have to kill any of them, which is wonderful, because who wants to do that, right? But blocking is counter the ethos of the game in a lot of ways, but so is combat, you know, and they still force that on you. So I should have gone over the barrier there and done the hold left bumper to bump myself up, but I wasn't thinking, guys, so learn from my mistakes and improve your own personal lines. The thing is, as I say, the combat isn't really to the game's strongest point, so they still do that, so they're not against these interesting choices that a runner necessarily wouldn't make, because you could argue, well, maybe they intended you to not fight that and just run past it like I did just then why do they lock you in areas and force you to fight? You know, the combat is locked in at times, and it's designed for you to fight it. So a block is not much of a stretch, and it could have been simply holding a button. There are a lot of buttons on this game that do multiple things. Block could have been one of them when you're not moving fast, you know? It's this interesting notion of, what does a block add to a game? It allows you to be defensive. It allows you sometimes to be too defensive, which can be a problem, which is why there should always be a way around the block and a punish for the block. But in the grand scheme of things, it enables us to control battle in a little differently. And you might wonder, well, how would you block the bullets? We could create several pieces of space bullshit to deal with this. Some kind of wrist that releases an electromagnetic field that somehow impedes bullets. You can go all the bullshit you want. It doesn't take long to create some future tech nonsense. You know, why does this woman have the most godlike ankles? Nobody questions that, so she can block bullets, but maybe not for too long. And then once you have a mechanic like blocking that enables you to stay safe and use that moment, you can then intercede things like just blocking, where you block at the right time and perhaps you put people off balance and it can be used as a parry. Or if you block a projectile at the right time, maybe you can reflect it back. And you add these measures of depth and interesting additions to your combat, which isn't just flailing your leg around like it's an extra limb you don't need. And unfortunately, a lot of the combat in this game really looks like some kind of bizarre leg-obsessed Punch and Judy show. But thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.